As we all know, Nigerian Super Falcons have been knocked out of WAFCON and they have to play South Africa in a losers match to be able to qualify for the playoff of the FIFA World Cup. And when they win the playoff is when they can qualify for the World Cup. And this is really, really sad because it's not like Nigeria has a talent problem. It's just a system and a structural problem. And it looks like the Super Falcons have just exposed this because this is total failure. Nigeria used to be the giant of Africa. And when we say giant of Africa, when it comes to football, it is not just about the name. It is actually factual. Nigeria used to be the best footballing nation in Africa. Currently, Nigeria still holds the record for the highest ever ranking in the FIFA ranking. Nigeria was ranked 5th in the world. Think about it. An African country, Nigeria, 5th in the world in 1996. Super Falcons, 10-time African champions. The Golden Eaglets, the under-17 of the Nigerian team, have won the FIFA World Cup. I'm not talking about African Cup. I'm talking about the FIFA World Cup. A record of 5 times. We won the inaugural competition when it first started. The first under-17 FIFA World Cup was won by Nigeria. So when we say the giant of Africa, this is not some name that was just given because of our population or because we have talent. It's because we were dominating not just African football but world football. When people meet Nigeria, they know that this is a footballing nation. This is not just some team that will just randomly qualify for the World Cup. This is a footballing nation. Today we have several talents all over the world. We have the likes of Osimhen, we have Ademola Lookman, Iwobi, Calvin Bassey, Oshuala and the likes. We have the talent. But yet, the national team, the men's national team, failed to qualify for the FIFA 2026 World Cup, even when it was extended. It was extended to accommodate more than 9 teams in Africa. And yet, even with the extra slot that was given to Africa, which should have made it 10, we lost it to Congo. With all the talents that we have. Same thing just happened in the WAFCON. Nigeria couldn't even make it to the top, to the last 4 of the WAFCON. Come on. Even the under-17 that we used to dominate, they didn't qualify for the past 2 World Cup. They couldn't even qualify for the World Cup, talk less of even winning it again. That should tell you something. That should just tell you that this is not just a talent issue. We have several talents. Nigeria has over 300 million people. Of course, you will find talent. That's why you see Nigerian players doing well overseas. But what is going on? This is definitely a structural problem. This is definitely a systemic problem. This is not an issue of talent. We have the talent. But what is actually going on? We need to look at what is actually going on. There are 6 things I'm looking at that might be the problem for this. Number 1, our grassroots pipeline is broken. You cannot tell me that what used to be where we develop talent, the under-17 team, where we used to develop, talent that will make the national team and will definitely become the Super Falcons or the Super Eagles. We don't even have that anymore. I mean, why is it that our even under-17 cannot even qualify for the World Cup? Then what does that tell you about the grassroots development in Nigeria? The likes of Oshuala, Ajibade and the likes, they started from this pipeline I'm talking about, this grassroots football. They started from the streets in Nigeria. The likes of Osimhen, Iheanacho and the likes, they started from the street. They played under-17 World Cup. These people played under-17 World Cup. And that is why we still have them today. Why is it that we're not focusing on these young players anymore? That they are not even qualifying for the World Cup? That is exactly the reason why even the national team is not being taken care of. Because they're not even taking care of the younger ones anymore. And of course, the talents have been hiding all this mismanagement and all this, lack of development in the grassroots. And it's making us feel like we still have what it takes. But what are we doing to develop the grassroots? Nothing. There are no school competitions. There are no youth leagues. There are no academies developed from the government. There are no support for even the private academies that are in Nigeria, and we expect us to just continue to be better. Even the NPFL is nothing to write home about. You can see there is no focus on the Premier League in Nigeria. It looks like everything is deteriorating. It used to be better than this, but now it's even worse. No coverage, no development, no support for the local leagues, for the youth leagues. There's no youth competition. There is no school competition. Then how do you develop new players? How do you get new players? No development of coaches, youth coaches from the grassroots. And number two, I think we depend too much on talent, on especially the international talent. Because what happens is that all these young players, when they start developing in Nigeria, they get scouts coming from outside the country, and they see these players, they see the talent that we fail to see or fail to develop. They pick them up, take them overseas to Europe, to Belgium, Iceland, or wherever, and they develop them. And when they become very big and they start making it big in Europe, then we start picking them up and use them for the national team. And these are players that have just been developed from outside. They are not players that play together from under 17. And we are saying we have a problem. Of course, there's going to be problems. We rely on the star players. We've always had those star players that have done well in Europe, the likes of Osimhen, JJ Okocha, and Nwankwo, and the likes. And that is what has been helping the team. But now we need to focus on the young players. We need to develop new talent. Look at the Spanish national team, for example. They won the World Cup, and they didn't even have all the biggest names. The only player that was that popular and big was maybe Lamine Yamal and Rodri, and the rest were just players that they've developed from the start. They were a very young team. But these are players that have played together right from under 17 to under 20 to, and now they've won the World Cup. They have a philosophy. They have a playing philosophy. What is our own playing philosophy in Nigerian football? What is our playing philosophy? Do we play counter-attacking football? Do we play pressure football? Do we play possession football? What is our football philosophy? We can't just keep playing anyhow and just bring in new coaches every time, and the coaches come with their own plan, and when their plan doesn't work, we sack them, we fire them, another coach comes in and start with another after the fiber philosophy. How are we going to progress in our football like that? How? Another thing is that our number three, we need to start investing more in players, in scouting, in coaching, good pitches, good training grounds. We need to start developing our players, our talents, our coaches from the grassroots, our pitches, our stadiums. Let there be investments in our football industry, our football structures in Nigeria. We need to invest in our football structures in Nigeria. There's a lot of talent. This can be a $1 billion industry for Nigeria because we have the population, we have the talent. It's there. We need to invest in our domestic football in Nigeria. And number four, like I said earlier, I need to reiterate this: coaching and technical continuity. We can't keep sacking coaches every time there's a failure. I can see people already saying, "Oh, let us sack this coach, Coach Magudu or whatever his name is a failure." The same person that won the WAFCON for us last 2 years ago is now a failure because he couldn't qualify. I just told you the under 17 couldn't even qualify for the World Cup. The Nigerian national team couldn't qualify for the World Cup. Shouldn't that tell us that there is a problem internally? It is not just the players' issue or the talent issue or even the coaches' issue. We can't keep sacking coaches and keep bringing in new coaches every time. We need a philosophy, like I said earlier. We need a philosophy that we are known for as a footballing nation, as Nigeria. Do we want to be playing physical football? Do we want to be playing high-pressing football? Do we want to be playing possession football, counter-attacking football? What are we known for as a country? Our type of football, what is it known for? So that when new coaches come in, they know what Nigerian football is all about and they can develop on that. Not that new coaches will be coming in with their own tactics and we expect development to come like that. It doesn't work that way. When you look at the Brazilian football national team, you know what they are known for. When you look at the Spanish football national team, you know their football philosophy. We know. We all saw what happened in the final. When you see the Spanish philosophy, whether it is Iniesta, Xavi and the likes, or it is Rodri and the new generation, the Lamine Yamals, you just see a pattern in the way they play. It's possession football, high pressing football. That is the way they play. when they get a new coach, it's not going to come and start playing counter-attacking or defensive or physical football. He knows what the Spanish football philosophy is all about. And that is how you develop your football structure. It's not just about sacking coaches today, sacking coaches tomorrow, bringing in foreign coaches today, bringing in local coaches tomorrow. What are they coming to do? They don't even know. They're just going to come with their own philosophy and they're just going to try whatever they can try. And if it doesn't work, you sack them again and you bring in another person. How long are we going to do that for? And another point, which is number 5 that I want to say, is the issue with Super Falcons. I mean, which is the main reason why I'm even making this video. We all saw what happened before this tournament. The coach complained that they couldn't even get more than 2 or 3 competitive games. Before this tournament in 2026, they've not played more than two competitive games in preparation for the WAFCON. I mean, is this the fault of the players or is this the fault of the coach? Of course, this is the fault of the NFF. How are they not able to get good competitive teams to face the Super Falcons of Nigeria, the 10-time African champion, one of the best teams in the world, to get competitive matches for them to prepare for the WAFCON? They couldn't even get enough matches to prepare for the WAFCON. And there's a saying that if you fail to prepare, then you've prepared to fail. And we saw the results in this WAFCON. The first game against Malawi, they lost. And if not because of the talent that we have in the group, and of course the love those girls have for the country, and because they didn't want to fail, they struggled and they won. Zambia 1-0 in the second game, and the third game they won Egypt. Egypt wasn't really good, so of course they won Egypt 6-3. And I was saying it, 6-3 against Egypt. Egypt scoring 3 against Nigeria wasn't good enough. But at the end of the day, 6-2. But because they scored 2 goals against us. But because we just happy that they won 6-2. Out of those 6 goals, 3 were penalty. Even the goal against Zambia was a penalty. So the signs were there. The signs were there. And now they lost to Cameroon, and now they have to face South Africa on Thursday, tomorrow, to be able to see if they can even get a slot in the playoff. If they win against South Africa, they are not qualifying to the World Cup already. They still have to play another match. I don't know if it's 1 or 2 in the playoff tournament, so that they can now secure the spot for the World Cup. I mean, the same route that the Super Eagles had to go through, and they didn't even qualify. So what's the assurance that this same Super Falcons will be able to even beat South Africa and now be able to qualify for the World Cup? This is really sad. And lastly, number 6 point, which I would say, is that there has to be good governance and accountability with our football federation. We see a lot of things going on in the federation. We hear about a lot of corruption, a lot of allegation of corruption going on in the NFF, and no one is held accountable. And this cannot keep happening. We saw the same issue that happened in the WAFCON or in the AFCON last year, where players had to be boycotting training because they said their bonuses weren't paid and things like that. When the money is there, why are the players not getting their money? We never hear about things like this in other developed countries. Like their players boycotting training because they were not paid bonuses. And we have a lot of news, a lot of fraud, a lot of allegation of corruption going on that in the NFF, where they will give them money to do some stuff and they wouldn't do it, and they will just do some substandard stuff just to show that they've spent the money given to them. We had the issue of the stadium that was asked to be built by FIFA, to support the grassroots football in Nigeria, and we saw what happened with that one, and we saw that they even built a good stadium for that with the money they got. And it's just too much scandal going on in the NFF. And I think the NFF is not just doing enough generally, because what is the job of the NFF? Is it just to be showing up at the games and just be wearing agbada and just be, the Aza men, like they call them, just be showing up, flying all around just to support the Super Falcons? That's not your job. That's the job of the fans, the supporters club. Your job is to make sure that the talents are being developed locally. There is investment, this development in the grassroots football, not just the national team. We focus so much on the national team, and that's our problem. The NFF should be focusing more on the domestic teams, the domestic talents, the local talents, the domestic leagues, the NPFL, the NWFL, the youth leagues. There are no youth leagues, there are no school competitions. Those are the things NFF should be doing. That is where they should be focusing their energy on. instead of focusing their energy on FIFA politics. They are not focused, they are not developing anything. Even the referee, the coaches, we don't have any Nigerian coach coaching another national team. No. We don't even have referees, Nigerian referees officiating in the WAFCON, not to talk of even the FIFA World Cup. I mean, these are the jobs that NFF is supposed to be doing. This is what the NFF is supposed to be doing. Developing coaches, developing referees, developing talents, investing in all those things so that we have a proper football structure in Nigeria. I mean, these are just incompetent people governing and just being the leadership of the NFF. They don't even know what they're supposed to be doing. Only God knows what they are doing. And the results are here. Nigeria failed to qualify for the FIFA World Cup in 2026. We are going to fail to qualify for this 2027 with the Super Falcons. And the under-17 couldn't even qualify for the World Cup anymore. I mean, if that is not shameful enough, I don't know what else is. Seriously, a complete overhaul needs to be done. And until that is done, we will continue to see massive failures in our national teams. And the Super Falcons getting knocked out of the WAFCON and maybe not qualify for the World Cup might just even be the start. Because as it is now, the only hope that we have was the Super Falcons. And now they are even failing too. That means we have to go back to the drawing board and check what is actually going on. And until we do that, I mean, this is just the beginning. I hope things don't get worse than this. I mean, what else can be worse than this? We couldn't even qualify. Maybe Nigeria will start failing to qualify for even AFCON. The Super Falcons play the Bayana of South Africa tomorrow, and hopefully they qualify or they beat South Africa so that they can go play the playoff. And if they don't qualify, so be it. Let's go back to the drawing board and check where the problem is and start developing our football too. We see the way other African countries are developing. Morocco is doing well nationally. Even in their men's team, they're getting to the semi-final of the World Cup, quarter-final of the World Cup easily. Their women are getting to the World Cup WAFCON final easily. I mean, they are dominating. They are building stadiums. Infrastructure-wise, they are developing. Other countries are developing now. Malawi can now beat Nigeria. Cameroon can beat Nigeria now. I mean, these teams are developing and Nigeria is not evolving and catching up. They are still basking in the euphoria of, yeah, we are the African champion, we are the 10-time African champion. Whatever. If we are the 10-time African champion, we should be proving why we are the 10-time African champion. People should be able to see it. You don't even have to say it. They should be able to see that, oh, this team or this country are really a footballing nation. They are really the African champion. They are really the giants of Africa. We don't have to brag about it before people see it. They should see it in the way we play. They should see it in the way we run our football administration in Nigeria. They should see it with the way we develop talents. They should see it in our infrastructure, the way we develop stadiums, training grounds, coaches, referees. Those are the things that make you the giant of Africa, not just by past glory. Right now, we are just living in past glory. And that is exactly what is happening. Things need to change. The NFF, people need to start asking them questions. We need to start asking them questions. Things need to change. Things need to change. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share this video also so that people can see how deteriorating Nigeria football administration is becoming. And also make sure you subscribe to this channel and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about the whole situation going on in Nigeria football administration, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.